But just a reminder to those folks who may have forgotten already with the memories of Goldfish, both these guys on the cusp, potentially qualifying for the GSL BlizzCon Finals. Let's get into the game. All right, our first map of the final match. Going to be on Acropolis LE in the bottom. Right-hand corner in the blue.
Chivo, RagnaroK.
And his opponent in the top left in the red.
Jin-Air Greenwings, SOS.
Yeah, all right. So SOS instantly sending his probe out here to block the Atri.
Yeah, we've seen these shenanigans from him before, haven't we?
Yeah, he loves doing this.
Gorge's doing a really nice job there. And there's the pylon as well.
Just keeps that probe alive. Very nicely done. And SOS makes his gateway in his main base, which is something he does from time to time in PvZ.
And why the heck would he do that, Artosis?
Well, it's a little bit more economical. Like, if you are planning on making certain buildings at certain times, then you can still wall your natural before Zergling speed is done and still feel safe in that way. And it streamlines your economy a bit better.
Sure, and these players are going to be fighting for every single last mineral here. The last series that they fought, 2-1, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, going toe-to-toe, both these guys able to show exactly what they've got. This final match should not be a disappointment. SOS already scouting out exactly what he's up against, and the Overlords from RagnaroK about to head across the map and see what he's up against too. Pretty good information for both these players.
Oh yeah, nothing is in the dark as of yet. Of course, that
other
is
than Dark, who's in the dark as he's moved forward into the GSL round of 16.
Bomber, who in some ways figuratively is in the dark because he's
bottom of a crushing well of despair.
Yeah, indeed.
Poor guy. So I know we were saying this a little bit before the broadcast, but both these guys, I think, are 200 WCS points away from each other. Both of them clawing at the very bottom of those top 8 players from the Korea region who are going to be able to go on to BlizzCon. Surely both of these guys looking at the rest of their season for 2019 on the line almost in this series.
Yeah, whoever loses here may have to do something outrageously strong in Super Tournament.
That's right.
And that happens. We always have at least one spot that can still be changed as Super Tournament. Some years we've had like 4 spots that are being shuffled around a little bit. But yeah, whoever loses this match, it becomes so much harder for them to make it through.
Not a position I would envy from either of these players, and we see that reflected in their play a little bit. At least I feel like both of these players with fairly reasonable economic openings. We see the third down for RagnaroK. Just 2 gateways, warp gate research on the way, neither player with proxies or with a lot of aggression out early on. This Adept from SOS going to get in here and maybe bully RagnaroK a little bit, but with the Queen coming out, it should be pushed away.
It seems like what SOS is doing so far is like pretty safe, but he hasn't actually added tech yet, which is a little bit odd, right? Like, normally you'll have something by now. And he throws down the Robo. So there we finally see what his plans are. 2 Lings, though, going to run in and see it instantly.
Sure, yeah. And wow, that's going to be great information there for RagnaroK. He's going to need every last bit of information if he wants to compete. So was that Robo a little bit late then, Artosis?
Yeah, it's like a little bit later than what you'll see sometimes, right? Because if you just do your regular wall with like a gate, pylon, cybernetics core, then your next building can be the Robo. But the thing is, he has a build order where this works, right? He's decided that this is the way he wants to play it. So for him, I guess the Robo isn't late.
Sure, and 5 Adepts across the map.
Well, a lot of links being made by RagnaroK, and let's not forget, even when he fought against a bunch of Glaive Adepts, he did well.
That's right. SOS got pinned up against the corner of that map, and RagnaroK was able to defend really well. So let's see how his positioning works out once these Adepts move their way into this third base. There's not a whole lot here. Just kidding. They're just off screen. They're right there. I'm just joking with you. But a nice surround there. The shade away is quite early, but those are some good pickoffs there. Looks like, did any of them go down?
I think, yeah. It looks
2 of them.
Oh, I thought only 1 went down.
I thought only 1 went down as well, but 3 of them. Oh, and the recall being forced out here, but 1 of them definitely going to pick down. 2 of them going to get picked down. 4 Adepts gone already. RagnaroK feeling real confident.
That is really painful because what SOS is doing is actually a gateway all-in, which is one of the kind of weaker builds that you can do, but it's good to mix in from time to time. But losing 4 Adepts at the very beginning, I feel like this is going to... How is he going to kill him with this?
Yeah, man. I mean, you want to build up that unbelievable ball, right, of Adepts where there's just too many to deal with, and as many of them get shaved off as early as possible, every one of those is going to be really, really awful when you're trying to get critical mass later in the game.
Okay, well, SOS right now pushing forward. He has a lot of sentries out here. Quite a few gateways as well, but look at the number of roaches being made. Still a lot of lings out as well.
Yeah, man. 9 roaches on the way. Another big warp in here. Zealots, Stalkers, a big diverse ball of gateway units here for SOS, and he is pushing forward.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to break him, though. I feel like RagnaroK should have enough. There's just not a lot of damage output here from SOS.
Ravager being made, 12 Lings in production as well. There's a interesting force fields. They're going to force the Lings to go a long way away here. The Ravager's pulling down these force fields, and it looks like SOS has established this initial position to start assaulting this third base.
All right, well, he does have more roaches and Lings coming out right now. Traps a couple queens, so that's a good force field set.
Some gaps in that force field, though. Those Lings are going to get on top of a couple of the units here, and now it's just Stalkers and Sentries. The Warp Prism going to be forced to unwarp Prism and get the heck out of there. And oh no, these Sentries, this is so much gas.
Oh, it really is. He spent everything on this. This was pretty much a 2-base all-in, and it's just not working out. He's losing absolutely everything. He has no real fallback here. Look, he starts his first Immortal right now. When you lost your whole army in a situation like this against 3-base Zerg, and then you start an Immortal and that's your backup plan, I mean, that's... needless to say, it's not a good situation.
So painful. It's deja vu all over again, Artosis. We saw SOS lose that initial attack in one of his first series against RagnaroK tonight. He's had real trouble establishing map presence and really getting harassment done in the early game.
Well, he's trying to do something with this Prism, but 3 sentries and a Stalker, probably not even much energy there. It doesn't seem very likely to get anything done.
Nah, sentries take forever to tickle beam down one of those queens, and RagnaroK has plenty of queens back home to defend the army supply of 20, 30, almost 40 ahead now. Now, that is a lot in roaches, so it's not exactly representative of what's going on here. A little tiny drop there from SOS, going to get pushed away, but again, what is a sentry going to do against this much aggression?
No, he's not really finding anything right there. I'm not even sure why he threw down the force fields, to be frank. It
Delaying mining time?
Yeah, he slowed the mining by like 1% or something. It was... I'm like, I feel like 2-3 force fields extra in the next battle is probably better, but it's a tough situation for SOS. Let's see what he does to try to come back. He's adding the Templar Archives, which, I mean, this could just be for Archons, but it almost feels like needless for Archons. Maybe he's going to try to get Storm and go into a longer game.
Man, Storm in a longer game is a long, long game. I don't know if SOS has the legs to stay on top of the game for this long. Look how confident RagnaroK is. He's wasting his DPS, breaking down rocks in the middle of the map because he doesn't even care.
No, I mean, he's just cleaning stuff out. He's like, well, that just looks to me like 2 big force fields, so let's clean that up.
He's dealt with his enemies. He's going after the neutral units on the map now. We're going to see him attack those critters next.
Leaving no prisoners whatsoever. Okay.
So you were right.
Yeah. Archon, like, okay. I mean, Archons are good units, but...
Well, I'm going to stop you right there, Artosis. This is not Archons, plural.
That's true.
That
it's
is
Archon.
one Archon singular, which is even less scary than Archons, plural. Some nice
God.
force fields, though, but look at the wraparound here. The flanking play from RagnaroK going to be able to drive down both those force fields. Some big biles going down, and oh no, SOS stepping right into those. Immortal in the back, nice pickup there from SOS. So 3 Immortals on the map, all doing pretty well, but there is so much here from RagnaroK.
Yeah, if you gave Zest another Prism in this game with 2 more Immortals, he still wouldn't kill all this, so...
And if I had wheels, Artosis, I'd be a wagon. There's the GG. RagnaroK is going to take game number 1, and SOS is not happy.
I might take you up on that. I might get you some wheels to see if you actually are a wagon. Yeah, so that win by RagnaroK, it's... I never like to question SOS's strategic calls for what strategy he wants to use, because I think he mixes it very well, and he takes sometimes absurd risks. But those gateway all-ins, like, I can't remember the last time someone killed someone with that in GSL Code S.
You're not wrong. It was a bold choice, a really unusual choice for the final. You know, maybe if you're up 1 game in the winner's match or something, you buzz something out like that, that's maybe unexpected. Give yourself some breathing room after a long game even. But yeah, to bring that out, game 1, the rubber match, where your potential BlizzCon life is on the line, a bold choice from SOS. And you know, looking back, obviously, hindsight 2020, we can tell it's not the right choice. Yeah. But a bold choice anyway. So we're going on to SOS's map pick, which is New Repugnancy. Have we seen New Repugnancy yet tonight?
Yeah, we saw a game there.
I'm really testing your memory. I know I can't even remember.
I don't remember which game it was, but we definitely saw a game here. Okay. Anyways, we'll see what he does I mean, it's a map. Sometimes you see like a Cannon Rush or something. It's a little bit smaller than Acropolis.
Yeah.
I think SOS is... Yes, SOS played here against RagnaroK. Remember, he did the push at the third base and then shaded through.
That's right.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Maybe
so,
that build again. I don't know.
Well, fingers crossed. At least it'll be a good game. Looks like we are getting just about set up here. Game number 2 between RagnaroK and SOS.
Fight!
All right, loading into new repugnancy, and it's already coming across in the blue. No.
I love it.
The double-double, Artosis.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
he's going to block a hatchery that there is no intention of making, and RagnaroK is going to go offensive hatchery, I believe.
They knew I had a dinner reservation tonight. They must have known. Oh, how exciting. Okay, so hatch block for RagnaroK. We saw RagnaroK do this in the qualifiers a lot.
Yeah.
Even letting that hatch finish.
Well, I think this one's meant to finish
Sure.
because it's so fast. I think it's like an offensive hatchery where he wants to do a push off of this.
Is 2 gateways the right response from SOS?
Yeah, I think so. I think you just want to get units out, as many as you can, as quickly as possible. This is extra interesting, and I wonder if this has something to do with why RagnaroK did it, because SOS does do the pylon in main base a decent amount.
Sure. Interesting from both these players. An exciting game number 2, certainly. Spawning pool down from RagnaroK, only about halfway done, but yeah, that drone pushed away from the natural once more.
Yeah, I'm not... I mean, I want to see what he's going to do with this. I guess with that third hatchery going down, it's less likely that he's going to get as aggressive as I thought he might. I'm not...
Still not canceled that one in his second natural, but there's enough here to knock it down. He can't get anything done once it finishes, right? There's no time for him to get any drones out or anything.
Yeah, it's like, I guess he could make a couple Zerglings. You know, the creep will be there, so it'll take longer to make the Nexus. We do sometimes see people let this finish. But obviously, it doesn't seem like he can get a lot done here other than slow SOS.
I know there's been some really interesting theory crafting going on in the Zerg community about letting this finish, and what does that... Oh, no, you need to kill it all the way dead. Kill it all the way dead. It's still...
Oh, you see this? Oh, last second.
Beautiful.
What are those
Saving
brilliants going to do?
Nothing. Gorgeous. Shading away at just the right time. So we've seen some theory crafting, I think, in some of the subs and forums about how valuable it is to have this creep here.
Yeah.
And then the 1 or 2 larvae that maybe pop out before it gets killed.
Yeah. Like, these might get a scout off, for instance, because the Adepts went across the map.
Sure, and indeed they are. Look at that. Right up the ramp into the main here, so RagnaroK's going to know what's up. But his natural back home going to finish.
Sorry, that's just like... I love stuff like that, utilizing all your larvae.
That's so bold. Even the Shade gonna get canceled because he does have plenty of Zerglings back home. So, wow, both players bringing us something new and unusual for game number 2 here.
Yeah, like, look at what SOS is doing. He is not making a Nexus as of yet.
Oh, he's going to lose one of those Adepts. That's a real shame. And yeah, no Nexus going down. I love these kind of games, Artosis. Your left eyebrow is about 6 feet in the air right now.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the dickens these players are doing this game.
Well, RagnaroK has kind of thrown SOS off so hard that he's having to improvise the entire game. But to be fair, that's something that SOS is pretty good at, I would say.
So this is really interesting. I was just reading an article about, the chess player Magnus Carlsen, right?
Yeah, of
A
course.
lot of times in his games, he says he'll do something that's not optimal at the beginning of the game, specifically play poorly. Do something that's unexpected because it forces your opponent to think. If you had just gone, 3 hatch first or whatever, then SOS immediately knows in his head and in his soul, this is how I need to respond to that. But by putting that hatchery in his natural, he's going to say, oh, shoot, now I got to redo all my timings. I got to think about my pylons.
Yeah.
What do I have to build out of this? I think RagnaroK maybe just doing a little bit of mind gaming here to sort of force his opponent to make some difficult decisions.
Absolutely. I love that you bring that up because I think that is something that champions do very often. Look at Maru, look at Dark, our 2 most recent champions. These are guys that will mess you up with some of these early moves. All of your preparation, what does it do for you?
And it's not just unpredictable, but it's hard to respond to as well. These guys play thousands and thousands of ladder games a day, but how many times do they get triple proxy barracks racks,
Yeah.
Not as much practice and not as much certainty in this game. And creating uncertainty gives you that space to move in with what you're doing. And that's one of the reasons that these RTS games like Starcraft are absolutely incredible. Zerglings getting in here. We're droning on about strategy, but RagnaroK.
That was a mistake by SOS to let those in. My
Real
God.
shame. Now, they're not going to get any damage done, but a nice scout does go down.
Yeah, seeing those adepts, he knows everything in the universe.
The observer,
yeah.
The observer shading that zealot. How dare you? Do your job.
Literally, he had one job, which was being on a hold position in that choke.
The easiest job in all of StarCraft. Sit here and don't move, and he even messed that up.
The amount of games Protosses have lost to not a hold position the unit in their choke, I tell you,
okay,
that is brutal.
A big shade in though here from SOS, going to throw some damage here on this third base. Are 3 queens enough to clean this up?
Well, he's got some roaches being made. He's got some lings being made. As long as he doesn't lose a hatch, and I don't think he will. It takes a long time for Adepts to kill a hatch.
Sure. And even he's starting another hatch. Where's... Oh, no, sorry, that's Lair Tech, not another hatch. But yeah, 8 more roaches on the way. There's even a spine crawler in the main. Ooh, and a lot of Zerglings going to catch off these reinforcements. Again, another loss from SOS, just like in that last game. We've got to get to critical mass of those Adepts, where the Zerg can't get good surface area on all of them. You want a big ball, and walking up against those choke points is not a great place to be. So a bit of a rough loss for SOS, not just in the units that he lost, but in what it does to his composition 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, he doesn't really have anything in a good spot right now, which is why he's adding 2 Stargates.
Sure.
You know, with the 2 Stargates, that's the type of tech switch where you might be able to catch your opponent off guard. Like, maybe we just see a lot of roaches out of RagnaroK, for instance, and then the Stargate units can reign supreme. He's looking for an edge like that. He's kind of starting to flip a few coins.
Is that desperation yet, or is he still just in the, oh, maybe category?
I think this is a little bit of desperation. This is not a real strategy anymore, going Mass Oracle.
He's improvising now.
Yeah.
He's past the head of the song, and now he's just on his alto sax, desperately trying to follow the chord changes.
That's it,
hoping that he can keep up with everything, and double Oracle.
He's falling off a cliff playing his sax and hoping that he gets the Song of the Wind to warp him to another temple. I mean, this, you know, going Mass Oracle that's about to be scouted.
Oh my goodness, SOS. So yeah, there it is. RagnaroK going to see both of those Stargates, going to see the Chrono. He didn't see the Oracles pop out, but I mean, it's got to be pretty obvious, right? Even pressure on the third base, immediate cancel. But a big shading here from SOS. Maybe he can cause some damage on the other side of the map. Gets off 1 queen, picks off a 2nd queen. The shade not going to finish, so RagnaroK forced to respond to this and drive these Adepts back out.
Yeah, well, getting the queens is going to allow these 2 Oracles to fly into the main base. Oh my God, he might actually be able to do a ton of damage here.
Let's start the count on the drones here. 6. Make it more. Zerglings punching into the natural here on SOS's side of the map, but these Oracles desperate to do some damage. 2 queens should push them away. The 3rd Oracle joins the fight, though.
Oh, I'm getting chills right now. He is really starting to kill a lot of drones. He's actually shading out with the rest of those Adepts. The Oracle's going to another base. More drones going down. He's up to almost 20 drone kills.
This is so many drone kills, but don't lose sight of what RagnaroK's doing behind this. It's a Nidus Worm.
Ooh, going for that kill. And, I mean, I think it's a pretty good idea considering he just lost all of his drones.
What is he going to do? We were talking about desperation for SOS a moment ago. Are we seeing the same thing from RagnaroK now as more drones are pulled off, even more lost mining time as this last Oracle has picked off 26 drones?
This is just crazy. And look at that. He makes it right in front of everything. He does not even care. It's
and the
time
wall
to try
is
to kill.
open again. Oh no, the Roach is right on top of these Adepts here, and RagnaroK flooding in the game back and forth and back and forth. The Nidus finishes and the Queen's reinforced. There's the GG from SOS, and RagnaroK is going on to the round of 16.
What a crazy game right there. RagnaroK feeling so happy with himself. His BlizzCon dreams still alive. SOS, I saw his face. It looked very sad. He looked very disappointed. It is a long shot for him to make it to the World Championships this year.
It is so hard to watch these players who we know from years and years of experience are fantastic, impeccable players to go out so quickly. But that is the nature of our game, man. RagnaroK going to put up a great show, hopefully, in the round of 16. It looks like we're about to go over to a winner's interview.
That's right. Let's hear from RagnaroK. Andy, tell us what he's thinking. Tell us what gear he's saying. Do all those great things you do.
Read his mind.